Hello, pioneers. This is MJKK 613.14. Unofficial Pi, through my eyes, the way I see it. And mod in Pioneer English, MJKK 61. This is a follow up to what I tried to do yesterday. And was talking about this is Pi, but it's also about an economy that started through Pi. I mean, the in-app transfer, when it started, I'm not exactly sure what happened or what. I mean, I know there was some issue with somebody trying to sell Pi, and it kind of, I think it closed the door for the rest of us, and I think it closed the door for the in-app transfer for what it should have been doing, or our job, what we should have been doing, and that was, I think, the way the in-app transfer should have gone, or may have been a goal, or whatever. This is mine. This is how I see it. When the in-app transfer started, 300 pioneers got the in-app transfer availability feature. And going into the pilot, everybody knew that we could not turn Pi into cash. Well, a handful or a few tried to sell Pi. There's nothing to sell. There was nothing to sell. They signed an agreement, terms of use, that only good for goods and services, only good to trade between us for goods and services, and they went against that. Well, it's not good, and I know it was a major deal, and I'm sure the people that did it got their repercussion or consequences or whatever for doing what they shouldn't have. But what it did is it cost the rest of us. Because I believe the in-app transfer, the pilots were supposed to get economies going, buying goods and services between each other from other pioneers in the community, buying goods, and organically it would have grown if it would have went the way I think it was supposed to, because the original pilots were KYC. They had to be KYC. I mean, they had to claim their account. Basically, they had to claim their accounts, but they couldn't get their accounts until phase 3. But Core allowed them what they had earned on their own by themselves to use that Pi in the in-app transfer pilot. So basically, they claim their accounts, and their Pi, even though it's still being on account, are able to use it, and they're tracking it, and I mean, everything is legit. Well, because the people did what they did, Core, I think, closed the door to in-app transfer. And as far as I know, there has not been any added since then. Maybe one or two, maybe, I don't know. But they won't let, and even if you're trusted, they won't let you in. And I was trying to get in for months, and no, they're not opening the door to anyone. So by it being closed, Pi is just still growing. I mean, it's been growing fast. Core's been working on they're working their butts off to get done with the infrastructure and the protocol and behind the curtain. And to me, the community was left hanging for a long time, about 9 months or so. And in that time, members of the in-app transfer have started some economies, have got some economies started. And there's 3 or 4 that I'm relatively sure that are out there. And the one I want to talk about is the Pi Lifestyles. Pi Lifestyles, I think, in my opinion, out of everything that's going on, is getting it done. It's getting it done. There's a Pi network marketplace that holds the majority of pioneers with in-app transfer capabilities, and they're building an economy, but they're building the infrastructure, and not a lot of transactions that I know of. I mean, nowhere near what Pi Lifestyles has done. I don't know. I mean, but I know that's pretty good. I think assessment on my part of what's going on inside. They have a big reach. They're big. They're growing. The site itself is growing, but there's not a lot of transactions happening. Facebook has been always on the down low. There's an unofficial Pi Facebook group that you don't hear a whole lot about, and they don't bring a whole lot of attention to themselves, and they don't, but they're there, and they also started an economy, and I don't know what all's involved in that one, or how it's set up, or how it's structured. I have no idea. Okay, but I know it's there. Then there's the Pi Market Mall out of China, and I'm leery of China. I mean, just from past history. Nothing against the Chinese people, because they're excellent people. They're honorable, honest, and upright. But there's also some other fractions going on in. Okay. Now, I don't know. I know it's up and running, and I don't know much about it. I would be careful dealing with China right now. I mean, we need China. China needs us. Yes. And Pi is all inclusive, but long time ago, when I first got here, a long time ago, China is one of the fastest growing nations in the world, second biggest economy in the world, and has done it in less than really 5 years. So, what they have going on now is what the digital age is going to look like, or start to look like. They carry no cash. Everything is done on their phones, all digital. Okay. So, yes, Pi, long time ago, Pi and China, they need each other. They do. But, yeah, that being said, if you're in the market, I'd be cool, but I'd be careful. I would just be careful, that's all. Okay. Now, there's been a lot of history since that pilot started, because it started in like December of 2019. So there's a whole year of stuff that has happened in all these marketplaces, and they've all grown. All of them have grown. The only one that I think would have close to the transactions that the Pi Lifestyles does is the marketplace out of China. Pi Lifestyles. There you go, guys. Just because of the size of China and how they deal with business and how they do. And there's been a lot of speculation, about Pi value. Now I know there's like three, I'm going to say at least three differing opinions on Pi value. Two of them are on the same page, or in the same book, just on different pages. One is in a different book. The one that's in a different book is the day traders and most of the people that are out here in the community, and the videos that I've been watching, calculating Pi value. Okay, irregardless of whether Pi goes to the exchange day one, you guys are off. Yes, you're off. Because you're speculating. You're speculating on speculated numbers. You're trying to figure out what the total amount that has been mined already, which is irrelevant to when we get to phase 3. Because we could have already mined 10 trillion coins. But when we get back to phase 3 and we start to honor our accounts, and Core honors our accounts, and they write that first block, the Genesis block in Pi official blockchain, no matter what we mined so far to that point will change drastically. So all this that you're putting out, Pi value, it'd be this, it'd be that, it'd be whatever, 10 cents, 20 cents, $1, $1.50, $1.90, 30 cents, whatever. It's all garbage. That's the easiest way to put it. And with you doing that, with the amount of people that come into Pi that have no clue of crypto or the space or what's going on, you're sending them in the wrong direction. Now, if it were Bitcoin or Ethereum or Dodge or Neo or I want to say anyway, anything that's else out there now, yes, you're sending them in the right direction and teaching them how to deal with those coins and dealing with how to deal with the market. But you're sending them off in the wrong direction on Pi, and you're hurting it. Because the pioneers that we need to be using their Pi and spending their Pi are believing, because you guys are out there, man. You're out there bombarding them with it. And how do I know? Because when you tell them to go search Google and Google comes up with some value for on pi, they come into Pi chat like they just found the Holy Grail, man. And they argue with mods over the value. Yeah, they argue with the mods over the value. No, mods are just putting out, yeah, we're telling you, no, that's not it, just because we want to. No. It's because of the way it is. There is no Pi to give value to on the market. None. Zero. And there won't be until phase 3. In phase 3, when Core writes that Genesis block, we will get all these official numbers. Then do your calculations. Not now. Not now. No, please. Because you're getting people to believe what this, and I know that is what the space is. I know I know the difference between the two of them. And I know what you're doing. Okay? And there's a couple of reasons, but I don't want to get into it because that's not what this is about. This is about Pi becoming a success. And stop with the values. And any exchange that is posting it on their own, they're speculating just like everybody else. People that don't know the space, don't know crypto, don't need to know what you know. Not for Pi. Now, if they were, if they were mining any other coin, man, I'd be spot on with you, and I'd be backing you up 100%, guaranteed. And I would be on board with you, doing what's going on. Okay. Pi is being built on trust. The way I see trust as family. We don't screw family. And that's, I know it's on a bigger scale than whatever it is. And that's how I see it. If something is built on trust, and supposed to be, if we're able to trust each other doing business, the security circles are supposed to be built from 5 people we know and trust. And the way trust was described was, if I trust them with my car, if I trust them with my house, and if I trust them with my kids, they can go in my circle. If they don't fit any of those categories, they ain't going in my circle. Well, if you're trusting somebody that tight, and we're getting to know each other, okay, and we're getting that tight, there isn't any reason I shouldn't trust everybody in your circle. No, I don't even know who they are, but I should be able to trust them that tight, because you do. I do. If the community is that tight and that trusting, then the garbage needs to go. The greed needs to go. All of that needs to go, in my opinion. If Pi is going to be a true success, we need a tight community, not tight family. Family has each other's backs. We're not stabbing each other in the back. At least the families that I belong to. Okay? And it don't matter whether we fight amongst ourselves. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether we debate or doesn't. If somebody from outside comes in and tries to break us up, they're going to fight too. Then you and I get back to whatever we're going to do. That's to me, that's okay. And we're not. The community's not. We're all over the place because of the 3 camps. And one of them, the biggest majority of them, are speculators trying to speculate Pi value right now. And you're wasting your time. You're spinning your wheels, and because we have no official numbers. Core will not put out any official numbers till phase 3. Now, in phase 3, knock yourself out. When you have official numbers, at least you have official numbers going, and your calculations could be in the ballpark. But, with that being said, Pi may not also list on the exchange day 1. And that is also hurting what you're putting out for Pi. Because if you read what it says, and it starts with the FAQ, Core is not going after any exchange listing. If an exchange chooses to list Pi, they can list Pi. I know it's, I just read that. That's almost verbatim. Okay, how many know what I just read means? Core's not going. They're not running. There's no IEO or ICO plan for Pi. They are not filling out the application, taking a stack of cash to an exchange, and trying to get listed. They're not doing it. So they're the only ones that can do it. And if they're not doing it, then when Pi launches, there's nothing to submit. There's nothing submitted to any of the exchanges, and to get listed on the exchange, you have to. They have to review your project. I mean, they go through your project, make sure it's cool, and if they're cool with it, then they pass it on to their legal or federal legal, and then they go through your project, and if it's cool, then it comes back, and if you've negotiated the fees and sent it to charity, and yeah, it used to be you just paid up front. I mean, everybody was on the uppity. You paid up front, a quality exchange anywhere from $250,000 to $300,000-$400,000 to get a coin list. Lower exchange, down, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, but they're kind of shady down on the bottom. So now they negotiate a price, and you send it to a charity. Okay, and it just trickles down from there. So you're still paying to get on the exchange. And the lower exchanges, if you're paying less to get listed on the exchange, they're going to charge you more in fees, probably, most likely, because they're going to make their money also. So one way or another, all of those exchanges are in it for money, and they're going to make it one way or another. So Core's not doing anything. Core's not going knocking door to door and taking and everything. Yeah, they're not doing it. So day one, there's a good chance that Pi may not list. New program, new protocol, new community, Pi is new. Pi is new, yes. It's built off of the Stellar consensus protocol for running the mods and building the blockchain. Then everything outside of that, all the other stuff that Pi will have and going to have, is outside of that core. Okay, that's just a foundation to get, because Stellar is a solid, proven protocol for running fast blockchain and not forking and not, yes. That part of it is proven, but everything else in Pi is not. And the way we've spanned all social media and put things out where I don't know how good of a reputation Pi has as far as social media goes, and the community, and the large community. And then with Yodi, the way we downgraded Yodi, I'm sure we don't have a good reputation with them. Yeah. I mean, they were a 5 coming in before Core started using them, and now they're a 3. And it's because of us. It's because, anyway, Yodi's a different issue, because Yodi is Yodi. They're their own company. They have nothing to do with Pi. All Core did was contract with them to KYC. Yeah, that's it. That's all it was. But people are so whatever. They're taking whatever's going on in Pi out on Yodi, and Yodi has nothing to do with it. Yodi uses the documentation that they use to secure KYC because they know that is trusted in their business. It's one of the only forms of documentation that they trust in their business to make sure we are who we say we are. Okay. Now, Core is aware of all of the issues with all the other countries and Yodi not taking documentation from countries. They are aware of it. They are working on it. There will be, or should be, I'm going to say will be, at least one, maybe 2 KYC options for Pi, in Pi, through the dApps. They're working on it. They're building it. So relax. Everybody, if you're a human being and you stayed with the way Core's written Pi, human being, one person, one account, one mobile device. Okay? If you're running Node, you're already KYC. You've either phone or Facebook verified and been through the KYC process. That is a legit claimable Pi account. And if you are a legit claimable Pi account, Core's already put out, no legit Pi account will be lost or left behind. Okay, so relax. Now, as we get closer to phase 3, that they haven't said anything, but that could change because with the KYC process, Core is running. It's like a kind of a double deal. You first come in, though you'll get a KYC, and there's a form. Well, that's an in-house Pi Core form that we fill out. After filling that out, that gets us into either the algorithm or random generator that is running, selecting people randomly to KYC. that's what's happening. So you fill out the form, you get into the generator, it comes around, your time is, you're selected, your time comes up, and you can't miss it. When you open the app to go start a mining session, it will say KYC or something. It'll have something, it'll have be a button you have to go through before you can get into the app and start mining again. And when you're getting, if you've made it to the actual KYC process, when you push the button, it'll send you straight to Yoti. Right now. Now that will change, I'm sure that'll change in the future. But for right now, if you have the availability to KYC, push the button, it'll send you right to Yoti. Just follow the instructions. It's not that hard. If you have the right documentation. If you have a passport, you're in. I mean, a passport will get you KYC faster than anything else. Driver's license, identification, state issued identification card. Some of the other countries, whatever identification that you have, I know courts worked with them and got them to accept some other forms of identification. If you're in one of the countries that Yoti doesn't accept that form of identification, don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Okay? You will get. If you stay within the way I described, you will get KYC one way or another. And if you're if you're over 13, and relax, you have to be 13 or older. You should be 13 or older to be a miner in Pi. Core is aware of that. Core is aware of what's going on, and they're working at coming up with solutions. And if you have solutions, suggest it to them. Suggest it to them. They're open. They're open now. If they don't take your but if you have a suggestion, send it to them. They need all the help they can get. Yes, they are smart people, and they are. Another set of eyes never hurts, and let them make the decision whether they want to use it or not. That's helping grow the community. So I know I got off track, but all of that is all foundation to get to phase 3, to get to the in-app transfer. And because everybody is so, that's what I'm saying, there's at least 3 different camps. And one's on the exchange, you will have your time. Pi, personally, once Pi is up and running and we're doing what we're supposed to and the community's doing what it's supposed to and things are trading and moving, exchanges, they're not going to not list Pi because Pi is too big, and when the economy is moving the way it should be, there's too much volume moving. There's too much coin moving around in the community that exchanges will list it because they want a piece of that. Yeah. All right, just an example. All right, Pi doesn't list the first thing. And if we're doing what we're supposed to be, our job to earn our Pi, in the community, and we're moving Pi around every day. We're buying, somebody's selling something and we're buying something every day. Each one of us. And that's just one transaction a day. That's 13 million transactions in a day. It's a lot of transactions, man. Now, by all rights, we should be making 5, I think 4, 5, 6, it might be 6, 5 or 6 transactions a piece a day to get to what Pi protocol can handle. 75 million transactions a day. That means we're all doing at least 4, 5, 6 transactions in a day. Keep that in mind because that's going to be a big factor into what's going on. So if we're having to do that many transactions a day, now, granted, right now there aren't enough goods or services to supply 13 million people with that those kind of transactions a day. Well, yeah, we're just getting started. But see, if we just started a year ago, we'd have been a lot closer to the number of the stuff that we need to support a community this big, and it would have grown organically. Because as the pilot was moving their stuff around, doing their thing, and they're building a little bit at a time, while Core could have opened it up, more slots to KYC to get into the in-app transfer. And it would have, as Pi grew, the economy would have grown, more people would have been in it. Right now, we're so lopsided, it ain't fun. We got 300 people versus 13 million. And everybody chomping to get into in-app transfer. Well, I got a couple of thoughts on that. Okay. Knowing, Core said in-app marketplace. I don't see no in-app marketplace. I don't see anything in-app to support one person to buy something in the app. I don't see it. Where is it? Where? Now, it could be hiding behind the curtain. I don't know. I'm not privileged to that information. But what I do know, what I do see, and what I do know, what if you get KYC, and you get in-app transfer capability right now? What are you going to do with it? Well, I'm going to send it to my friends. Well, yes. Is that friend you, or is that somebody you've paid or got talked into mining for you, and they're going to send it to you, and then they're going to bounce? Yeah, bot accounts. How many bot accounts do you have that you're going to send those bot accounts to you? Come on. That's why none of us get in-app transfer. Core knows this. You know, if you think you're smarter than Core, now I'm not saying that there aren't people out there that are as smart as Core or smarter than Core, but you probably count them on one hand. Maybe I would say probably one hand, maybe two. Okay? Now you're talking true hackers, true computer people, true that okay. The armchair ones, no, you don't have a chance, man. I mean, you're talking people who've been in the industry and they know. Yeah, that's the level that you're going to have to compete with Core. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. So, yeah, that is what is also holding Pi up from getting to phase 3. Because Core is having to go through and put in security and do this and do that and do that, that if we would have went by the way it was originally written, doesn't matter whether you could invite 5 people or whatever it is. If you had at least 3 people or no people in your security circle, it's more trustable than just grabbing numbers off the board. Having a 0 security circle is more secure to our network than just grabbing random numbers, because you don't know who you're grabbing and putting in your security circle. You don't know them. You wouldn't lend your car to them, and you definitely wouldn't let them pick your kids up from school. They don't fit the criteria. They don't go in the circle. Because what you're not stopping to realize or thinking about, if and when we get live on the other side of phase 3, you will have more than enough people to put in your security circle. Yes. We get through the other side, and everybody fits the same criteria getting through the other side, I'll give you my number in a heartbeat. I'll give you my number in a heartbeat. Because you made it through the other side. We can all be trusted. Once we get through the other side, there isn't anybody I shouldn't be able to trust in there. There is nobody in here that shouldn't be able to trust me once we're on the other side. I mean, you gotta stop and think. Okay? So, you can't look at just today. You gotta look at tomorrow, the next day. We have to build today to get to tomorrow. Anyway, I'm getting off again, because this is all part of us getting to phase 3 and us getting through phase 3 and Pi being a success. Okay? When we get to that point, the traders can do what they want to do, and all of the bots and spam and all of the should be gone, should be out of Pi. That's how Pi was designed, and that's how Pi is being built. Yeah. So we get to the other side. Now we can all take a breath and go, okay. Because I'm not worried about all the stuff I'm worried about now right now. Yeah. I shouldn't have to. Now, it's not to say it's not on the back burner. Security's not on the back. Yes, it is. It's high. Because at the same time, them are being eliminated from Pi, they're also going to be wanting to try to get back in. Yeah. Some way, one way or another, they're going to try. Because if somebody's been here and has set up bot accounts or clone accounts or is running some kind of farm or something that may have gotten flagged but didn't get booted, well, if they have that much Pi, I mean, if you've taken the time to set up that many bots and that many accounts and all that other stuff, and you've been here any length of time, you have a stack of Pi. I know you have a stack of Pi. Because you were here on the early days when earning mining was, we were getting some coins. So you have a stack of Pi. And you don't want to lose those. You don't want to lose those coins, but you're gonna. And it's gonna piss you off. I know it's gonna piss you off. And you're gonna want back in. That's the stuff that we're gonna have to secure against once we get on the other side. Is whatever got booted is going to be pissed. I mean, they're going to be pissed. And they're going to want back in some way, one way or another. And now these guys, if they can set up bots and all this other stuff, these guys are smart. They're good. Yeah. I'm not the, hopefully somebody in here is that good to keep them out. Yeah. Yeah. That's when we all got to think about, we've got to think about today and tomorrow. And, okay. So I'm off subject again, but these are all points that need to be addressed and thought about and keep it in the forefront and the back front and the back burner. Okay? So through the in-app transfer, some economies got started. And when I'm not exactly sure the order of which all these economies came into play. I do know Pi Network Marketplace was probably the lead, and Lifestyles was right on its heels, or they were neck and neck. And Facebook started a little while after all of this. The Pi model was always in the works, but I don't think it actually launched or started making it really public until the convention. But being that they're in China and China has the amount of people there, yeah, they could be making a lot of transactions every day. But I also think they started out low. They started out, in their value, they started out low. They like, I don't know, a couple of bucks maybe. It was that high when they started. I believe, from what I've heard, they've come up in their value. And I don't hold me, I don't know how true it is. The source was reliable, but I wouldn't count on it. That the Chinese market was talking about taking Pi to $300 a Pi. Now that's just talking. I know you can laugh. That's just speculation, like everything else. I don't know, but I'm going to put it out there because I heard it, and I heard it from what I consider a reliable source. But I'm not believing it either. But I can see why they're going there. Okay. So that economy side, because I'm still leery of China, and so I've heard it. Reliable source is there. That take it with a grain of salt. Now, Facebook started after, but they followed the lifestyle lead when they set their value, when they started. And now I don't know whether they've adjusted it or raised it, lowered it, because I'm not that involved, and I don't know really what's going on, but I do know they're there. And I do know what their starting value was. And like I say, they're kind of like going, man, real hush hush. They keep things close to the vest. They don't make a lot of waves. They don't, but they're in there doing it. They're in there doing it. Okay. So, like I say, the Pi network market and Pi lifestyles, I think we're going back and forth, whatever. But the network market was in the limelight because they had most of the in-app transfer pilots. And I don't want to get, because they're both doing their thing the way we thought it was supposed to be done, or they thought, so everybody's doing their thing the way we're thinking it should be done. In my opinion, they went the long way around the barn. They started in the basement, or they started way out, and have to work their way to where we need to be. Pi Lifestyles cut all that out and cut to the chase and said, yes, it needs to be here. Now, I know you can get into price fixing and price manipulation. No, that's not what's happening. I mean, that's not what's happening. There's a reason for why Lifestyles did what they did. So, the economy started, the Pi Network Marketplace, I mean, they were running auctions and doing their things, and Pi was low. Pi was really low. I mean, they were down in what the speculators are speculating. Under $1. Pi. They were auctioning goods, and Pi was ending up under $1, where the speculators are talking, which helps set the foundation for a value. And because my thing from reading the white paper, Pi is a barter system, or supposed to be a barter system, and there are a lot of ways to barter. There's a lot of ways to barter for goods and services. But bartering with the money doesn't matter how you really stack it up. if you're bartering with what is the money, and you're bartering the money for a good, no, that's not. It's not how. That's not how I know it works. And a true barter system, going from pioneer days, like 1800s, when people from the East Coast were going to the West Coast and whatever it was, were bartering goods for goods. You had something like potatoes, and I had alcohol, or you have whatever it was, a good for a cow, cow for some chickens, or that's what they were bartering. They had extra of what they had to take care of their family, and were willing to barter it with somebody that had extra that were taking care of their family, and both of them were getting their needs met. That's a barter system. And over time, as things grow and expand, and it's hard to continue to barter any cows and chickens and fruit, okay? Which through that whole system, it evolved. It evolved organically. It really and well, now I guess that's bragging, but for the most part, it evolved organically. They discovered gold. Well, when they discovered that, people have always valued gold. Always. If you have gold, you have something. You have something you can trade with, and you have something worth something to trade with. But it's not always about gold or silver. I mean, gunpowder, flints, flint heads. Those are all tradable commodities. Beads, jewelry is all tradable goods. Furs. I mean, think about back. I mean, I don't know how many can relate to the United States. Back at the turn of, turn of the 1800s, when you had mountain men and stuff trading furs, and they come down to a rendezvous. They didn't have cash. These guys were in the hills. They didn't have cash. They had furs and whatever they picked up from the time that this rendezvous to the next one, or wherever the next one. Okay, that's where they went down and trade. They wanted stuff up in the hill, whiskey, whatever, women, all of that. No, I should have gone there because that goes so different. But that was all part of barter. People from the East wanted whatever that they wanted certain things that the mountain guys had. And they weren't all on the up and up on what they were trading. But the East had gold or whatever it was. I mean, remember lines from movies, stuff. It's a good thing to remember if you chop wood and leave it there, leave the pouch out, the steamboat captains will put gold for you doing some work. So and as it grows, gold and silver have always been used. But gold now comes around. And now people from the East come out with gold. Well, to take a gold nugget and trade it for, like this one rabbit fur isn't worth this nugget. Like, it's hard to use. So at that one point, it was dust. It was gold dust. Dust is easy to use because you would measure it, fractional. This pelt is worth X amount in gold dust. Well, you dust it out and you're cool. But as it evolves, yes, and that's traded probably for like a long time. All the mining camps and all the little ghost towns and all that were probably doing it at one point in time. But carrying gold around all the time gets heavy. I mean, we're in a lot of banks, so if you amassed a fortune, and you amassed a fortune in gold, it was heavy. You might have 2 pack mules or whatever it is carrying your stuff. And then from point A to point B, you may not have your stack when you get to point B. Because there's a lot of other people who want to take your stack between points. I mean, yeah. So it starts to, if gold is too heavy to carry and too vulnerable to losing it, then come up with something else. Government all came into place. And paper money. You take your gold to the bank, you tell the Reserve Bank, whatever it is, you take your gold there, they give you X amount of paper bills, gold notes, to secure your gold. Your gold is there, you have paper notes. You can put paper notes and hide those wherever you want. And, the double lines where people get around and you go to pull your wallet, you can shoot the murder. Okay? I mean, that's the times they lived in. That's a natural progression, natural evolution of money. And at that time, the system worked because if you had gold, you put the gold in the bank, they gave you gold notes, and no matter what bank you took anywhere around the country, you could exchange those gold notes for gold, no matter where you went. No matter where you went. So, I mean, it's been happening since way back since the Knights Templars and all that. You sign your book with X amount of coin in here, and they give you a piece of paper, and the next time you go to, you take it to one of them. They look at the paper and they see who's in it. Everything's all correct, and you have the same amount of coin that you had here and here. They're the same, but you didn't have to carry it. That's how the evolution of money, to get some money. And in the beginning, it worked. Because you put something tangible in, you got something tangible back, that you could trade for something tangible over here. I mean, that basically, this was still tangible because it was a gold note. And it was issued by the government. So, being the government, issued by a gold note, it was, okay. So, we trusted, we believed, we do with it. And what it's evolved into today from then is not the same. Not the same. Because it evolved into what it is, but the evolution from here to what we have today was man-made. It was man-made. By all of the big players and families and all that stuff that are still controlling it today. Yeah, it's not them, it's their grandkids, or great-grandkids, or great-great-great-grandkids, or cousins, or whatever, that are in the family. It's all still controlled by them. We know who they are. We know who they are. They're still controlling, and they have been. And they've gotten us into some deep, we're in deep, believe it or not. We're in deep. Because we were on a cash system at that point. And that's, Pi is going to be right at that pinnacle, right there, where we're carrying Pi for goods. That's what separates Pi from the rest of the coins that are out there, because Pi is looking to be the money to buy the goods and service on the up and up, on a cash system. Yes, things can evolve from it, but that's where Pi is looking to start. Believe it or not, it's in the white paper. You can read it. You can read it, and if you clear the filters, all the filters and all that is on us today, and look at it with a true eye, with an empty mind, blank slate, and take time to digest it before you judge or react. You will see it. It's there. It's written. Core has written it. That, to me, I believe that's Core's big vision. But you have to be able to see past today and see past what can I get today, what can I accumulate today, how much more can I get than you today? Because that's the system they built. That is the system they built, and that is what they run on. They're running on what can they get from us and how much, and they, we'll keep you working so you can pay me, you can pay us. Yes. We pay taxes, we pay this, we do this, okay. We are working for someone else. Because outside of all of the taxes and everything else that we pay on stuff, anytime we use one of their banks, or any of their banks, we pay fees to them. And the system has evolved to a point that, we'll get to that. Okay. So, my thinking, the way I'm thinking, and I believe the way Pi Lifestyles is thinking, cut all of that time to evolve to this point, because it's a slow process. They cut all of that time because they see where Pi wants to be, needs to be, should be, if it's going to be a success. And since it doesn't have the time to grow organically, they cut to the chase. And they set their initial value at $10 per Pi for goods and services. And most people balked, said it'll never be that high, can't be that high, whatever. Well, it didn't take the founders of the Lifestyles to realize $10 was too low. It was too low. And when they upped their value to $100 per Pi, I bought too. I did for a little bit until I saw it and saw why. And I believe now we may be on the borderline of what China was talking about, going to 300, because I think now it's borderline. Right now, right now, getting going, whatever, works. The $100 of pie works. Yes, if we believe it, if we accept it, if we use it, it works. But it's for what it needs to be, because the way pie value is set. Yeah, no, they just pull it out of the air because they want to make all this money. No, 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 wrong call. Wrong call. If you're in today's system, yeah, that's an ideal call. Pie's not in today's system. It's not following today's system. It's not following today's model. It doesn't want to be in today's model. Pie is really blazing its own trail. Pioneers, man. Ford chose the word pioneers for a reason. Pioneers. Blazing saddles, man. Cutting a new path. Cutting new. And nobody says it has to be hard or has to be loud or has to be, we're just cutting a new path. Yeah. I walk a lot and I don't have to run everywhere. I just walk. I don't have to make a lot of noise. I don't like when people know I'm coming. I really don't. They don't have to. Okay. Now that's mine. That's how my take, and that's how passionate I am about pie. Okay. What pie value is set on, one, is if people selling goods and services, more so the goods, will accept $100 per pie. If they will accept $100 per pie, and we are willing to give $100, I mean, it goes fractional. Not everything is set. They're not overpricing what they're selling. They're setting their price the same as they would for real markets, real world trading today. If they're selling something on the outside for $10, they're going to sell something on the inside for $10. They're going to sell it for $100 outside. They're going to sell it for $100 inside. No, they're not price. That's where price fixing comes in. They're not price gouging us pioneers because they know, they understand, they realize that if they don't do it, pie is worthless. Pie is useless. I don't care whether it goes to the exchange or not. Pie is useless, worthless, and another shit coin. Sorry. That if we don't have people selling goods, pie's no good. Pie is no good. Because if I have pie and I don't have nowhere to spend it or use it or whatever, and if you put it on the exchange for pennies, there is already too much out, and there will be too much out, and it's already too big. Yeah. You go down, yeah, and I will agree with them. If there are no goods for us to buy in pie, you can take it out. I think Indian app transfer pie goes out 5 places to the right, left. I don't know, after the decimal point. If there are no goods or services to be bought inside of pie, you can take it out 5 places. That's what pie would be worth. You probably take it out 6 because that's probably what it would be worth. To me, that is the fact of the reality of it. If they're not willing to sell something for pie at a price that it needs to be, or value that it needs to be, so the last group of people coming in pie for that day can spend their pie. Think of what we're earning on base mining right now. 0.2. What do we get? 2 pie a day? 2.5 pie a day? 2.1 pie a day? Somewhere in that neighborhood? Right, so you got 2 pie, and you're going to value it at under $1. You know how long it would take somebody to buy something for $25? $10? The amount of time that it takes for them to accumulate enough pie to buy something for $10 with pie value under $1, they won't stay. It wouldn't. That is not in their best interest to stay, because they can go to other coins, other projects, and earn more. Turn around, sell it on the exchange, and even make a couple of pennies or whatever it is. They can't even do that here in pie. Why would they stay? And why are a lot of people leaving? Because that's how they're thinking. Now, right now, if you're thinking that way, then have also missed, and I hope you come back. Let's put it that way, because what you're seeing in pie is true, but it's not pie. It's pie in development. There's 2 stages in pie. Developing pie, live pie. We are part of the development. We are earning pie to do a job that will get paid when the job is completed. That's how my mind puts it up together. Well, people are already coming here wanting to get paid, and not doing anything. They just want to get. Somewhere along the line, somebody told them pie is free money, free mining, free Bad advertising, bad info. Because people come in expecting free. There is nothing in this world for free. Nothing. And when you've been around as long as I have, and tell me that there is, no. Been around a long time. There is, I don't care how you slice it, dice it, whatever, there is nothing in this world for free. You have to pay something. Even if it's your flesh and blood. You have to pay something for something. We don't get nothing for free. There's nothing handed out for free. There's always something attached. So, with everybody going, free, Pi's free, Pi's free, Pi's free, free money, free money. Okay? And people come in expecting free. They come in expecting free money. Handout. That's what they're expecting. They're expecting a handout. And when they push the button and they don't get a handout, they leave. So, we're doing a disservice to the people coming in. Because Pi needs and wants them. Yes, we need as many people as we can get in the community to make the community as strong as it can be and do what we're supposed to do. But the ones that are here are responsible, should be responsible for what we're supposed to do. CORE expected the community to be responsible for what we're supposed to do. All right. It's taken a long time to come to this point, but I got to say it. Grow up. Grow up. The ones that are getting these economies going and moving and doing, and not complaining, crying, bitching, whining, moaning there about CORE or anything else that's going on in Pi. Everybody else, they understand our job and they understand what they're doing, and they're living up to CORE's expectation. CORE has an expectation. CORE has an expectation on the community, and we've been blowing it, man. We've been dropping the ball, kicking it, stepping on it, tripping over it, anything but picking it up and running with it. I don't care how smart you are, how deep into the space you are, how deep you are into crypto, how much money you've ever made off any crypto out there or anything. Doesn't matter. Me and you are equal. Yes. Because what you've earned out there and done out there and done, that's, congratulations, kudos. Kudos. But it doesn't work in Pi. Coming into Pi, we are all the same. We are all equal. We are all even. It doesn't matter what color our skin are, what nationality we speak, where we live, what we believe in, what our politics are. None of that matters. It all needs to be left at the door. We are Pi pioneers. We are Pi pioneers. Written by PhD Stanford graduates, alumni and professors, teaching blockchain at a college level, probably a graduate level. I don't know. Okay. And I said the same thing as somebody else did not so long ago. They needed to dumb the white paper down some more so people could understand it. And I was met with resistance from where I said it to. Like, what do you mean dumb it down some more? Huh? Yeah, and I was hurt. I was butthurt because they didn't take my suggestion. But since they didn't take my suggestion, and I'm getting better, I maybe stop and overanalyze things about bad. And I overanalyze it. Well, no, they don't need to dumb it down. They've dumbed it down far enough. Because if they have to dumb it down anymore, then we may as well turn it into a game for 13-year-olds. Yeah. May as well. If they dumb it down anymore, then they ought to turn it into a game for 13-year-olds because it won't be worth shit. Yeah. We're talking about money, people. We're talking about finance. We're talking about our futures. We're talking about our financial futures. For real. Day in, day out, life-changing financial futures. Yeah. Okay. CORE may not be looking to get us to Buffett and Gates level, and people that run the reserve. Okay. But with finance. With non-custodial wallets and our Pi coming into our wallet makes us bankers. Makes us bankers. We are our own bank, in control of our own financial futures. If people keep going the way they are, and they are now with their financial futures, they won't have a financial future. We have to grow up. We have to become more intelligent to get up to the next level. Yeah. The professors, college professors, they do it every day, man. They deal with a classroom of students every day. Think of us as a classroom of students. Yeah. I know it's hard to go back. It is hard to go back, especially you've been through the school of hard knocks. You've been through, you've done your thing, and you've made your bones, and yes, I know. It's hard to go back to school. Not of my own accord. I can go back. I have no problem going back to school and learning more when I'm down with it and I'm doing it. I have trouble going back to school when it's not of my accord, and I have trouble learning when it's not of my accord. But I'm glad I did. And I'm glad I had the people around me that were around me when I first got here to tell me exactly what I'm saying right now. They didn't mix no words. They just put it out, But no, we didn't do it. We didn't do it in a public setting. No, this was all behind. We talked in private message, and that's what helped make me see. The guys who found the Pi lifestyle are those guys. They're thinkers. They're shakers, they're movers. And all they've done is cut to the chase. And see, they're not thinking about themselves. Core is not thinking about themselves. Core has built Pi for us, for the community, to make us better people, to have some control over our financial future, and not be strapped by the players that are. Yeah, we just have to grow up and see it. So, let's grow up. And those that are grown-ups and, take the blinders off. Take the filters off. That, to me, that's where the people that do know and do understand and do, but you're blinded and you're filtered. And you're looking at Pi through those blinders and those filters. And take those blinders and filters off and see Pi for Pi. You will see it. You will. And then you will come to understand that you can still do what you want to do outside and make as much money you want on top of what we have going on in Pi. Pi is not restricting anybody from doing anything outside of Pi. If you live outside and you make your money and make big money outside of Pi, there's no reason you have. Pi is not demanding anybody to stop doing what they're doing. Core knows we have lives. All of us have lives, families, responsibilities, commitments. They're not asking us to give all that up for Pi. All they're asking really is to push a button once a day. Less than 10 seconds is all they're really asking. We're getting in and screwing everything else up. Okay. So, if you see it and you come to believe, what Pi Lifestyles has done is they just cut to the chase. They took all of the evolution out. They took all of the stuff out, and they said, because they went through it when they were sitting and discussing when they were discussing their marketplace, they discussed all of that. They took all of that into account. Just like Pi Core has taken everything into account with all the other stuff that's happened in crypto and designed Pi. People in lifestyles have done the same thing. They've looked at what the goods that it's going to take, but they understand that we are a year behind. We really are a year behind as far as the marketplace goes, or the Pi marketplace goes. Yeah, we are. Because if we were where we are now, getting ready to do what's happening now, giving it a whole year to grow and expand, get people in, get merchants coming in, get people with services coming in, you guys with talent coming in, and you guys with talent coming in and being supportive and positive for Pi would make all the difference in the world. And doing it a year ago, at this point, and I know Nicholas has put out, Pi will be live by the end of the year, irregardless of what's going on. You know how sad that is? You know how really... Because I'm sure they had a timetable and a goal, and I'm sure I would almost venture to put money on it. I would venture to put my Pi and money on it. That they were looking to launch 3/14/21, and they missed it. They didn't. I mean, they missed it because of us. They won't come out and say it. I will. They won't. I will. Core missed their date because we didn't deliver on our part. And we should have been live this year, in March this year. You look at the history. They launched on 3/14/19 is when they launched their private project to start growing the community. We went phase 2, 3/14/20, and it wasn't ready to go phase 2. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. But they went phase 2, 3/14/20. That's in mind. Because what I was seeing, what I would think, where I thought we should be to get ready to go to phase 2, no, we weren't close. We weren't even close. But they went phase 2 because it didn't hurt anything. It really didn't hurt anything to go phase 2. They went phase 2, 3/14/20. Well, what would be the next logical evolution in Pi development? Going live 3/14/21. Launch on, man, we're Pi Day, 3/14/21. Ain't gonna happen. And when Nicholas came out and said we will launch Pi by the end of the year, I was pushing for 3/14/22, but I was told to stop. Don't put any date on anything. That speaks volumes, man. That speaks volumes. Because I was told to stop and don't put a date on anything. Being that close by launching by the end of the year, 3 more months to get to the Pi Day, dropping the bucket. By that time, the community wouldn't have mattered. The community would have been behind going 3/14/21, 22. And I would almost, because if we do what we're supposed to do back then, start doing it now, it'll take about that long to get there, to where I would feel comfortable launching Pi to the public, because I mean by that time we'll probably be 20 million people, maybe give or take, we'll be close to 20 million people, and that last probably few weeks, you want to see publicity. That's when the publicity is going to happen. Probably the last 2 weeks before Pi goes live. Not now. Not now. It doesn't need to be now. We're still growing at 20, 30,000 people a day. We don't need to advertise. We are advertising. We are doing that. We're doing that part of our job. We're doing that part of our job. It's only one part of our job. So, don't. Think about it. Just think about reality. Think about it. No, we don't want to go. We're growing as fast as we are. We need to start growing our infrastructure inside to be ready. Because I think when Pi advertises we're going to go live, and we're getting ready to go live, be ready for the shit to hit the fan. My eyes. Pi, according to Matt. Because right now, if somebody is looking in on Pi application right now, what do they see? They don't see nothing. There's nothing here. There's nothing here to do anything with except come into a chat room that is chaotic, sporadic, and chases some people off. Now, I mean, I'm starting to understand a little deeper. Because, bottom line is, we need some form of education in the chats. We need to set it up so we can start informing people, teaching people outside of what, because all the chat is a welcome center. It's a welcome center for new people, new pioneers. Okay. If they're any good, anybody with talking about money, cashing out, withdrawal, whatever, those are the first couple of questions out of your mouth. Come back in about 6 months. I know they told us not to tell anybody to leave. This is according to me, the way I see it. If all you're interested in is a free handout, Pi doesn't have any free handouts. There's no place to beg for Pi. We have to work for it. And if you're looking for a free handout, I'm sure there are a lot of other projects out there that you can maybe be able to find something. Check in random chat. Okay? Pi is not free handouts. Pi is not free. Okay? And if those are your first questions, and if you're looking for that handout, there's no business for you being here. Okay? That's how I see it. Now, if you come in and you look around and man, you should be skeptical coming in. You should be questioning coming in. But you shouldn't be coming in questioning and being skeptical on so negative a side that it makes it sound like you're saying what it is. Coming in and telling somebody what it is and asking somebody what is it is two different things. If you're telling somebody, you're telling. You're pointing, you're demanding, you're the authority. You're the, when you come in and ask me, hey dude, what's up? What's going on? Tell me what's going on. You know, fill me in on what's up. Yeah, I see this, but I don't. Levels the field. Makes it approachable. Makes you approachable. Makes us approachable. You come in demanding it, no. Anyway, there's a difference. Because anybody coming in demanding that Pi is anything negative, you're late to the party. Everything that you're talking about or expressing or skeptical about or concerned about or anything that you can think of has already been thought of, asked, and debunked. Pi is 2 years old. Got some pretty smart people in it. Asking some pretty hard questions. Asking some pretty tough stuff of what's going on. Anything that anybody can think of now. And if you read a lot of stuff that's written, like in the Mod FAQ, you go on any social media and follow any Pi site or page, your question will be answered. You read the white paper of the FAQ, your question will be answered. And if you have concern, then talk to somebody that's been here a while. They'll give you the straight up answer. Why this is in place, why that is happening, why this. And if it's a question, if it is a question that is totally off the wall new, and they don't know, they will appreciate it. They will appreciate it. I will appreciate it. Because either I have to go dig and find out, or I have to go research and find out. Okay. All the questions have been asked, answered, and okay. Now, whether you believe the answer, if somebody's telling you the truth, there's nothing you can do. If you don't want to believe it, then don't believe it. Okay. And mods and anybody who's been here any length of time and is behind Pi, working to make it a success, will not lie to you. They will tell you straight up. They will tell you straight up. If they're lying to you, they're not behind Pi. My opinion. Because if they're lying to you, they have their own motives and hidden agendas or whatever to get over on you. So that's just the way I see it. So, Pi lifestyles. And they've met with a lot of resistance from a lot of the community and a lot of people in the internet transfer and because nobody's taking the time to really see what they're doing. And they haven't taken the time to really see or understand where Pi is and where it wants to go. And I'm not trying to blow anybody's horn or whatever. And everybody's smart in their own right and they're doing their own thing. And man, I've heard it from all sides. I've heard it from all sides. Pi value will be set by the people selling goods, by what they're willing to accept Pi value at. If they're willing to accept Pi value at $100 per Pi, that sets the stage for Pi value. I'm not saying that's the only thing that's only going to set it. That's where it starts. Because if they're not willing to accept Pi at that value, then Pi won't be that value. Because we can't use it. Pi has to be usable. If they're accepting it at $100, then it's usable. It's the start and it's the foundation. Then everybody in the community has to be able to use it. If the last pioneers coming in that day can use their Pi by tomorrow, I mean, yeah, it takes a little while to accumulate a few, but you should be able to spend a few. So, say they start the session, figure out what's going on, and then they get turned on to a marketplace, whatever it happens to be. They get turned on to a marketplace, and they go into the marketplace, and tomorrow they have 2, 3, 4, 5 Pi, and they find something that they want for $10, $20, $30. They have the Pi to do it, and they still have some stacked in reserve. They will use it. They won't sit on it. They won't. Okay. The worst thing that can happen for Pi is people sitting on it, hoarding it, waiting for that stack to grow. If you have to wait too long for that stack to grow, that makes Pi worthless. If you can't spend it within a short amount of time, or use it, I shouldn't say spend it, if you can't use it in a short amount of time, it's useless. It's useless to that person. All it takes is one person to be useless, and it's useless for all of us. We are a community. We are together. And if we're not thinking about that last person coming in, being able to use it to buy stuff, especially if it's stuff they need. Say that dude's from a third world country, and he can't use those few pennies, or the few Pi that he has. to buy rice and whatever he needs to support his family, he won't use it. He won't use it. It's no good to him. It's no. I mean, everybody says third world countries will going to dump and they can get a lot for $2. If these third world pioneers are coming in and they have 2 pi and they can't use it in pi to buy what they need, and I'm not talking about what they want, what they need to survive today. If they're getting 2 pi a day and they can use it to buy what they need to survive today, they will use it. It won't matter whether you're first world, third world, whatever country you're in. Whatever they're earning in pi, they can spend to survive that day. You don't think that's changed? Because right now they're coming in going, if I get pi, it takes it to the exchange, I can sell it. They don't know the exchange, man. They don't know they're going to lose more money trading on the exchange for what little pi. They may not even be able to trade what little pi they have on the exchange. Most exchanges have a minimum. But if they're earning 2 pi a day, and they can buy what they need to survive that day, they will use pi. They won't even think about the exchange. They will think about where they can get what they need. Yeah. Put a lot of time, a lot of thought in it. Because, everybody say third world countries, they're going to get, because it feeds your pump and dump shit. They're looking to survive and take care of their family today. Like everyone else of us is looking to survive and take care of our family. That's number one bottom line need in life. Take care of me and mine first. And if I can go, if I'm in someplace and I'm earning, it doesn't matter how small we're earning. If I can use it to get what I need for that day, I will use it and get what I need for that day. That's pi, man. That is pi. Pi is change. Pi isn't about what is. What is already is. Pi is about what's possible. Making it possible. Lifestyles. Yeah. Lifestyles. Cutting edge. I mean, in Pi today, they have set the bar. They have set the bar for every other community that starts behind them, with them. And I mean, I know a lot of you don't know me. I know. But I don't speak anything I don't believe. Look, guys. All right, then. Here's the link to get in and to go through the welcome page. Go through the welcome page, then go through wish to join. All of the founders and moderators and everything are in there to help get you started, get you set up, get you a business started, and start selling goods out of your business as soon as you can start selling them out of your business. They're there. They're on top of things. Check them out. All right, guys. I'm out. Y'all have a good one.